Hello and welcome to the first episode of KnitHabits. My name is Christina. I'm coming to you from Raleigh, North Carolina, and today is April 2nd, 2023. You can find me on Ravelry as xtinakyarny and on Instagram as xtina_knita. And I am just starting this channel in hopes of sharing my daily habit of knitting and things fiber arts as I get into them, maybe some embroidery at some point, cross stitch, just getting into spinning, but mostly it'll be about knitting. That is my thing that I do every day and my current kind of obsession, I guess, or has been for a while. So we'll be bringing that to you. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina, as I said before, with my husband of 22 years, my 2 adult sons, and my son's fiance, who I also taught to knit a couple years ago during the pandemic. So just wanted to bring all of that to you. As you can tell, I have some finished objects behind me. I'm not going to go into great detail about those today, but will if people are interested in at some point. I was going to jump into what I'm wearing. This is the Kevet pullover by Caitlin Hunter or Boylan Knitworks. It was made in Moondrake Sport, which I have here, and that is, there's the tag. The color is Pink Salt, so that is the body, and then the color work is in Spin Cycle, dyed in the wool in Devilish Grin. It was my first yoke sweater, and it's just a really nice piece to wear in the spring or late fall. Not in the summer here in North Carolina. It's a little bit too hot for a sweater, but just a really nice piece, layering piece, especially because it is a crop sweater. So something I wear under or over dresses or things like that. But it's just really pretty. Has lots of, these are all baubles, and then eyelets, and then it has this pattern repeat here as it goes down. I did add more pattern repeats to it than it called for, but it's just a piece that I wear quite a bit actually and just really love. So that is a finished object that I'm going to talk about. And then I'm going to jump right into whips and then talk a little bit about a purchase that I've made and leave you with just a little bit of words that I would say to my clients, as I am a mental health counselor, and so just a little bit of things that I leave people with every day. So just to jump into my whips. The first one, and I'm going to put a picture up here, is the Andrea Mowry Big Cozy Cardi, and I am making this in Fox Hill Farms. And it is an 80% Cormo, 20% silk, kind of a sport weight yarn. This is the front of it here. Really pretty textured pattern for that. And it's just a 4-row repeat pattern that you just do over and over and over again for a certain amount of inches. Can't give too much away. It's paid for pattern, but just really pretty. I particularly love the back of the fabric, actually kind of more than I do the front of the fabric, which is usually not the case, but I think it's just a really pretty pattern. I wanted to go for something that was pretty neutral in color because the cardigan is one that I just think you can wear with anything. You know, you can wear it on a cozy evening by the fire pit. You can wear it in the morning with your morning coffee. You can wear it, you know, just at any point in time with a pair of jeans. So it's just a beautiful piece that I wanted to add. And so that's just the body of it there. And then there's, on the front part, there's a shawl collar that you do in a Surrey alpaca. And I was able to go to Rhinebeck this last year and for the first time, which was really fun. And I was able to meet and purchase some yarn from Sarah from Superfine Yarn Co. So this is her Surrey alpaca base. It just has a really beautiful halo to it, and I just thought, what a great way to add some subtle, not really in your face color in that front part, but just to add some color since the rest of it is kind of just a plain um, color. And so this is her, well, it was her Quirky Surrey base in Volatile. It is 75% brushed baby Surrey alpaca and 25% mulberry silk. So looking forward to getting to that part. But yeah, just really pretty. So that is the first project, and that is living in my project bag from the Crafty Toads. And they are not dyeing yarn anymore, but they are still creating great project bags. And I looked on their website. They still have quite a bit there. So definitely head over. Very well made, sturdy bag, nice sturdy zipper and handles that have that same little pattern on it. So check them out too. And my next project is living in my naughty knitting sack. This bag is not nitty, not nitty. This bag is not naughty. So this project is the 22 Cowl by Casapinka. And it's just a Doctor Who fabric that I really liked because I really like Doctor Who. So that is the 22 Cowl by Casapinka. And this yarn is by NJ Fiberworks. And it is just a 100% superwash single ply merino. And the two colorways, the main color is this one, which is called Yellow Specks, I believe is what it's called. And then this one is called Burnt Orange. And that's just really, really pretty. Colors that I really love. As you can tell, I kind of like orange. So, yeah. And this is the project here. Fun kind of just combos of samplers of different stitches, ribbing, and then just different slip stitch patterns. And you use two different needle sizes for this one. The first needle that you use is a US 6 4mm, and then you will change as you do this tighter work here, and then and then you increase down here and use a US 7 4.5mm. So just some really beautiful stitch patterns, and do some eyelets and lace work, and then starting to do a basket weave pattern here. So looking forward to getting this one done and off the needles and just ready to wear. I think it'll be a great piece again for spring and fall here in North Carolina. So very pretty. My third and final whip is the Killer Queen Cowl by Lyrical Knits, and this is living in just an adorable project bag with gnomes and coffee, two of my favorite things. And the inside of the bag just has this inside of it, these little coffee beans. So just absolutely lovely. And it's by a maker on Etsy called Redsley Creates. She'll be linked below as well. And this is made out of Malabrigo Rios. So the main color is called Peachy, as you can see here. And then the other color is called Archangel. So I'll show those to you here in just a second, which is 850. And this is the cowl here. Starts off here, it's kind of folding up here. Starts out here on the bottom with these little, she calls them little bubbles, or they call them little bubbles. And then this is the contrast color, that Archangel. And then the main color here is that Peachy. And then it goes into these larger bubbles, tiny bubbles again. And then these really, I really enjoyed making this part. This was fun. These are called champagne flutes. I don't know. So just keeping up with the bubble theme, I guess. And then eventually I'm going to be doing some more, I believe, of this, and then it will start decreasing, and then it'll get seamed up to be worn as a cowl. So just really fun pattern. I got this yarn from the Knitting Place, which is a yarn store in New York. And in fact, I actually got the kit for this one also, and that's from Dinah of the Knitting Place. And she has a podcast as well with Pam, and they do a wonderful podcast, beautiful kits. And I'm a sucker for a kit. I love it when people put things together for me, and I don't have to particularly wonder if the colors go together or is it really the right yarn. And so if you have a chance, go check them out. But yeah, just a really, really fun pattern right here. I'm hoping that will obviously block down to where it'll kind of hang out. And so I'm hoping to have some of these done by the next time I record so that you guys can see the finished projects done. And so that's all I have for my works in progress. And the next thing, I've been on a bit of a yarn diet this year. I have been lucky enough to have quite a big stash of yarn now, as probably so many of us do, but it was one of those things where I'm like, you need to stop buying yarn. You have, or at least not buying so much yarn. We never stop actually buying yarn, but at least not buying as much yarn. You have enough to do some projects with, use that. So that was kind of my goal for this year. I have fallen a little bit off the wagon, but it was in support of a wonderful maker, and that is the Fiber Hustle guys. Had to support Erin over there and Chip, and I didn't get one of the chip baskets this time, but I'm hoping to at some point, but really wanted to pick up some yarn for sure. So this is their logo here, and this is just a beautiful, beautiful yarn that Erin has created, and he's taken his love of music mostly and created colorways based on album covers, and just absolutely amazing the way that he can pick that up and then put it onto yarn. Just kind of blows me away every time I see that. And so definitely wanted to support them. And Erin, I was lucky to meet both Erin and Chip at Rhinebeck, and they've just been very supportive anytime I've reached out to them. So wanted to definitely support them in this. So this is just a beautiful fingering weight yarn, and it is called Mental Health, which I thought was perfect since I am a therapist. So I thought it was a perfect one to get this time. So fingering 400 yards, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 2-ply, 100 grams. So just love the variation of colors he's got in there. It's kind of there's some greens, as you can see right here. It's deep red, these grays. So really beautiful yarn, and looking forward to making something yummy out of this, because it's just screaming to be something beautiful. Again, there's that gorgeous green color in there. Just love that. So that is my one little acquisition that I've made lately. I've been trying to be really good and not purchase too much yarn. So, but now that I've gotten through all the whips and the acquisitions, I'm just going to jump into a little bit of giving something hopefully back to people that I hear all the time. I hear people, and we're all guilty of it, myself included, of being harder on ourselves than we are on anyone and everyone else. And so I just want to leave you with just reminding you to give yourself the same grace that you would give everyone else, because oftentimes we're so much harder on ourselves than we are on everybody else. So just wanted to leave you with a little bit of words of wisdom of go give yourself the grace that you would give everyone else. And I hope to see you guys again. Thanks.